Okay, so where do we go next? Southern Coffee or Stables Barber Shop? Let's go to the coffee shop again. Let's see how that goes. I grabbed the taxi cab and told the driver where I wanted to go. Why am I reading this? Right, let's talk to you. Frankie was still behind the bar, naturally. Oh, perfect. Yeah, ask about shipment's message. Is it here? Has it arrived? I looked at Frankie. What's hitting you, kid? He asked. I sat on my regular stool and rapped my knuckles on the bar. Any messages, Frankie? I asked him. And what do you mean by that? Well, I told Sam Shipment, an old contact on the force, to leave any dirt with you if he found it. Frankie laughed. So now I'm your bartender and your secretary. Say, if I become your housemaid, will you at least pay me? So I'm guessing you haven't heard anything. I said, nothing yet, Miss Chief. Frankie chuckled. Shipment's supposed to call you about Green? What have you got so far? No real breaks to speak of, I said. Well, alright, I'll let you know if this shipment gives me a call. I thanked him. What else you got? He asked. Let's see. Let's see. Do we have anything new actually to ask him? Because there's no point in asking him about these two things. We've already done that. Hey, maybe he can tell us a bit more about the wife? Oh, what's this thing about only gives friends haircuts, actually? Let's ask Frank about that. Nope, that was not good at all. What about... wine bottle? That wine we shared earlier, I started. Ah, Zinfandel, he mused. Best grape for me. Local to California, you know? And no, you aren't having any more. Thought about what else I'd like to speak to him about. Okay, what about the, I don't know, billiards table? Nothing memorable. Okay, I don't know if there's anything else we can talk about with him right now. Maybe I say this. The fact that Redstone claims he doesn't bootleg. Yeah, but still nothing. What about this? Tiny Paul gave Green cash. Also got others watching. Nothing memorable once more. What about that? Still nothing. Okay, well, I guess there's nothing more to be done here then. So we just wait for the notes to not the notes, for the dirt to arrive, for the dirt to be dug up. I mean, in the meantime, where do we go? Do I go to the barber shop? I probably need to tell somebody that the letter is fake. Maybe we go to the barber shop. A flag. Right, right. We don't need to read that. Okay, so let's tell him about the fact that the letter is fake. Can we... How do I do that? Do I need to... like this? Shipman tells me Green's letter is a forgery, I said to Stable. He grinned wide. Yes, Miss Malone, that I told you. But I'm curious whether Mr. Green himself knows it. Stable still would admit no knowledge of the note. He doesn't say anything else about that. Well, I don't think there's anything else, maybe. Let me check this real quick. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the tin spoon then. And we can talk about the letter there, maybe. Oh, that's some premium tea right there. Right, let's talk to this guy. Ask about the fact the black hand letter is fake. You know, Green's note is a fake, I said. So somebody is goofing Green. He laughed heartily. Or maybe Green's just toying with you. He blew chalk off at the end of his pool cue and asked, anything else? So that's it, nothing else there. Damn. Oh, maybe now if I go back to the coffee place, it's gonna be, he's gonna have info. Because technically now some time has passed, right? Like I visited other places. Because before I went straight to the coffee shop, which probably I shouldn't have done. Alright, let's see. Anything new? Nothing yet, really? Still nothing. Well, there's only one place we've not been to. And that's Green's house, so let's do that. Okay, Green is not here, and I was kind of hoping he would be. We still can't talk to her. Well, darn. Okay, so what do we do now? There's nothing new. It's all the same. It's all the same. Interesting. What do we do now? So, I think the game is basically trying to tell me that I need to do this next. Because it says like I still had to chase up Green's bootlegging. So I think the game is basically telling me, yo, concentrate on this now. Because I think discover Green's past, we're gonna get that once we get a call back from shipment. So I think we need to investigate Green's bootlegging. I'm not sure how to do that, to be honest, because I feel like I've done everything. Where do we go and what do we do? I feel like there's more in the stables barbershop. I'm actually kind of stuck now. I'm not sure what to do next. I don't know if I should actually go back to the coffee shop. Whoops. No. I don't know if I should go back to the coffee shop and try to figure out some other clue. Maybe I should. Let's try. I mean, we were just there, but let's try to find something else. There's nothing else, right, that we can click on. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's ask about the message just in case. Nothing yet, okay. I think I've already asked. I already asked Frankie about that, didn't I? Let's see what it says. I wondered aloud how I could get more dirt on Green's bootlegging. Frankie thought about it too. He offered, well, Green's working with Tiny Paul on this scheme. If I were to buy from a new source, I'd have to try it, get a taster. I continued his thoughts. So there's likely a sample of Green stuff laying around the tin spoon. Maybe I can ask Paul about whatever booze I find in there. I mean, maybe this is what I need to do. Maybe this is literally what I need to do, is just go. Let's do that. Let's go to the bar and try to talk to what was his name? Paul or something? Okay, let's talk to him. Let's do this. I don't know if I did this with him. Asked more about the bootlegging, but all that got me was a frown. Paul refused to give me any new leads on that front. Okay. I don't know if we did this either, so I'm gonna do it again. That led to nowhere. Alright. What about the wine bottle there? Did I ask him about it? That bottle on the table, I asked. He said, that's the stuff. A sample from Green's source. Hey, okay, so why didn't I ask him last time I was here? I know some Napa wine that smells exactly like it, I said to him. That's so, he smiled. Well, Well, that one's from Vancouver. I had to work every muscle in my face to stop my jaw from hitting the floor. Where's the wine from, Paul? I asked him again. It's from Vancouver, he repeated. Frankie had told me that only Napa grapes had this type of spice. If Paul didn't know this bottle was local, I wasn't going to tell him. But it told me something very important. I had to confirm with Frankie, but if my hunch was on the money, then Connor Green was not getting his wine from Canada, and he wasn't playing square with Tiny Paul. Anything else? Paul asked me. I snapped back into the moment and considered if I needed him to tell me anything else, though I'd just snagged quite the load. Giggity. Is there anything else? I think at this point we should just go back to the coffee shop. Oof. I keep thinking if I press escape, it's gonna act as like hitting back, but it doesn't. It just shows you the menu. Okay, let's now go back to Frankie and talk to him about what we just learned. And the amount of money that we've spent on cabs, it's insane. I don't know how we have money for food at the end of the day, how we pay rent. Alright, let's see. Well, let's ask about the message. Nothing yet, okay. Oh shit. Oh yeah. So this is continuing because he's asking me, is there anything else? Anything new? Well, you'll like this, I told him. Remember that wine you offered me? Oh, my Zinfandel, you nearly finished. Where did you say that grape was from? It's from here, California. Napa or Sonoma. You sure? Yes, Malone. That's the only place these grapes grow nowadays. And not Canada, I asked. What are you swinging at, Malone? Tiny Paul had a bottle of wine that tasted the exact same, that identical spice. He said it was from Green's bootlegging source, from Vancouver. Malone, I'm telling you, he said, no wine anywhere else in the world has that spice. It ain't from Vancouver, and Green ain't getting it cheap. I nodded. Well, you just confirmed my hunch. Green's got no source. He must be swindling Tiny Paul and the entire ferry gang. And I bet he'll run away with the money. Frankie let out a long whistle in disbelief. Just then the phone rang. Ah! Boom! Now we get our dirt. Frankie picked up with a hello. Right. Then handed me the receiving, saying shipment. The receiver. PC, he said, his excited voice crackling the speaker. Find anything on Green? I asked. Nothing, he said. I was puzzled. Then why'd you call? That's the idea. First, got pinched for a brawl in the ferry building. That was in November 1920. Before that, no Connor Green anywhere around the bay. Strange, he continued. Strange, he continued. Has trouble staying out of a mess, mixed up in something nearly every week. So only appearing a few years ago? That Oakland backstory is Swiss cheese. What are you thinking? Green's got a different past? I asked. Uh-huh, he said. Guess that he just got here in 1920 and never been straight about where he's from. Wait, I said. If Connor Green was a criminal in another town, easily some cop would recognize the name and send him back home. SFPD isn't that thick. Right, Shipman agreed. If it's the same name, could be his real identity disappeared in another town. I thought aloud. So he might have changed lives. Is there any way to confirm that? If Green fled, the local bulls would keep looking for him, but not if they thought he died. Get these cases sometimes where mobsters fake a death to escape a burg. Use a mangled stiff to do it, someone unrecognizable. That way they get out of town without a chase. Got any mobster deaths in 1920? I asked. A ton. Too many to look through. But narrow the search for me. A town he might be from, I could check a specific city's archive. Anything in your notes that tells us where he could be from? Hey, and now we have the thing. Investigate Greed's bootlegging is marked out. Perfect. So anything? What about St. Louis? Maybe he's from there. If he has tickets to go there. I found some tickets to St. Louis in Green's apartment, I told him. The missus was ruffled when I picked them up. I stayed on the telephone while Shipman used another line to call his contact at the St. Louis Post Dispatch. I was nursing a glass of gin when he got back to me. Lucky break, PC. Seems there's one that fits the bill. Yo, nice! Big pace. He read aloud an article from the St. Louis Post Dispatch dated October 8th, 1920. Gun battle at June's Diner. Gangster dead. Suspected bandit clubhouse scene of another shooting. A heated argument turned deadly Thursday as multiple shots rang inside June's Diner on 14th Street, suspected hideout of Egan's Rats. A man was found dead at the scene, unidentified due to shotgun wounds to his face. Police suspect he is mobster Breg the Jester, who had hired a private eye to investigate threats on his life. It's the same dude, he's doing the same shit. Last month, Chief of Police Brannon said investigating gangster on gangster deaths was a waste of time, and the discovery of the threats leads many to believe police won't look further into the case. Hold on, I said. This Bragg character had hired a private detective? Seems police are quick to forget a case, if they got a reason to think it's just gangster violence. This lines up with Green, I said. It's better. Bragg's first name? Connor. I cursed loudly through the telephone. I continued with my theory. And your story says this Bragg was deeply indebted, so maybe Green's just waiting in San Francisco until he's got enough dough to skip town and go home. He have some bootlegging business? Shipman asked. Why would he leave that behind? No, I shook my hand. His wine is complete bunk. It's local stuff, not any Canadian route he might be claiming. I didn't know why he'd pull a fast one until now. Returning Bragg to St. Louis could be huge. Swing by the station. We'll iron it out. I agreed and slammed the receiver on its pegs. It seemed I needed to make my way back to the station. Ooh. So what's the news on Green? Frankie asked as I was headed up the stairs. Now it seemed like I had all the details. I summarized it for him, so the total wrap. Green isn't really Green at all. He's Bragg, the Jester, a former member of Egan's Rats from St. Louis. He's Bragg? Frankie was shocked. But he's been here a while, Malone. Sure, I said, but only since 1920. He couldn't pay off his debts in Missouri, so he faked his death and moved to San Francisco. He's been longing to go back, but he needs a way to settle his score before he can show his face again. Is that where his bootlegging comes in? Frankie asked. Uh-huh. Green set up a sham rum running scheme. He bought local wine, but claimed to get it at lower prices from Canada. He convinced Tiny Paul to front him a heap of cash for it. Instead of providing the wine, he's planning to skip town with Paul's money, disappearing to St. Louis with enough dough to pay back his debts. He already faked his death once, so he'll do it again here? Frankie asked. That's right. His plan is similar to his last one. Hire a detective claiming he's scared for his life, fake his death, then know the police won't bother with underground violence. Frankie looked at me with a blank stare. Seems like all the pieces fit, he said. So he just hired you as cover? I sighed. Seems like it. Don't worry about that, Frankie started saying, but I cut him off. I'm going to see Shipman now. I'll sweep away this mess, then come back and see you. Have a stiff drink ready, I instructed. Just be careful, Malone. Egan's Rats have a reputation. They can be ruthless. I turned and walked up the stairs. There was only one place to go. The police station. Green had hired me for cover so that he could blow town. Shipman held the final evidence to sink that plan. I needed to get to the station. I mean, there's no way that this game is gonna finish just now, for sure. I stepped into the taxi cab and was consumed with my own thoughts about the case. I'd finally caught my break, but it was a dud. I hadn't realized it, but I'd been reveling in real detective work. Once I learned it all was bunk, my mind reverted to its incessant nagging. I knew that a woman could be a good investigator, but I questioned why I thought that was me. I was hardly helping anyone. It all came back to the same basic premise. You're failing, my inner voice said. I began to feel nauseous in the car. My mind repeated its last thought. You're failing. Goddamn. And then everything turned to black, as if someone had shut all the lights. My naked arms faded into view. They emitted a soft white glow. Ain't no way. I rubbed my eyes. Willing them to focus, but without success. Between my fingers, it appeared in the distance. I could hardly see, but as the object billowed, a clarity came to me. Then I understood what it was. Lewis's gray coat. I floated towards it. I reached to grab the coat, which was when I saw the needles. No, not needles. Glass. Shards falling all around me. One piece wedged itself deep in my right elbow. I grimaced, but I was unable to make any noise or movement. But then, as suddenly as the rain had started, it stopped. I looked upward with caution, wary of the rain's return. But above me I saw the grey coat. It was no longer billowing, it was rigid, a shield against the terrible rain. It started falling, slowly at first, but quickly it gained speed. It came upon me and enveloped me completely. It was suffocating. I couldn't breathe. I let out a gasp. And then the light, oh my god. It pierced my eye sockets, hitting the back of my skull like a hammer on an anvil. I directed all my energy into my lungs and forced out a yell. That helped. Everything became quiet. I could breathe deeply. I noticed someone beside me. He gradually came into focus. Vision. Had a strange dream. Interesting. Shipman showed his teeth in a big smile. I looked up at him from my laying position on the Murphy bed. He swung his leg over a chair and sat beside me. Thought you'd never come around, he said. What happened? I tried to ask him something, but another bolt of pain raced up my elbow. All I managed was a groan. Relax, PC. Just a few scratches. Quite the auto crash. Flew straight through the front window. They took out a large piece of glass from your right arm. What the hell? We were in a car crash. Damn. I remembered none of that. I mumbled the words auto crash to myself. I wondered how bad the accident must have been. Shipman removed a flask from his pocket, unscrewed the top, and handed it to me. Not the best hooch, but might get rid of that banging in your head. Yeah, sure. I took a swig. I closed my eyes and sighed a deep breath as the its warmth. Okay, I'm gonna assume it's we shouldn't. This the over here should not be there. I closed my eyes and sighed a deep breath as its warmth burned down my throat. I know modern medicine doubts it, but that gulp of moonshine helped. I went to give the flask back to Shipman, but he put out a hand to stop me. Hang on to it. Might need another swig after what I'm about to tell you. I propped myself up on my left shoulder to listen. About Green's case. The two of us figured he was going to fake his own death. Shipman clicked his tongue to his teeth and looked toward the floor. That ain't happening. Last night, Connor Green was shot through the heart twice. What? I shouted. The exclamation was impulsive. I swung my legs quickly around and sat on the edge of the bed. My headache had suddenly vanished. Whoa there, Shipman said. Look, been here with you all night, he added quickly, in that chair beside that bed. Just telephoned the station to check in, and that's the rap they gave me. Told them what I had known from you, and they said they'd chase it up. How do you know it was him? Another involuntary question. I was running on instinct. PC, faking your death involves a mangled body. Shot through the chest? His face is still intact. Whatever Green was planning on doing, he didn't get that far. And we looked it up. He doesn't have a twin. That would be too easy. Shipman grinned. Green hired you for this case, he continued. Gives you every right to follow it up if you want. That said, he was likely taking you for a ride. Wouldn't blame you if you want to drop it. But I'd like your help, PC. You know the case. Could use your head, even if it's been a little bumped. Once you're feeling better, I'll be at the station. Come find me there. Shipman stood up and cracked his back. Maybe I'll catch some shut-eye on top of my desk too. Sure beats that chair you got. He turned and walked away. Walked out. Alright. Well, perfect. I think that is such a nice place to leave it. Fucking big ass cliffhanger all of a sudden. Plot twist, all of that. Yo, this is a cat! Oh, we're back home, aren't we? Yeah, we're back home. Awesome. So, yeah. I'll leave it here. Thanks a lot.